Hello and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. This is for December 16th, 2024, episode 354. Oh my gosh. 11 episodes remaining of my 365 daily episode series. I don't know what's going to happen after 365 days. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't know if I'm going to take a hiatus. I don't know if I'm going to just reduce the number of episodes. I don't know if I'll just keep doing it daily. I don't know yet. But this is stand-up comedian, actor, improviser, and dreamer Paul Green, sharing my journey as I pursue my dreams in the hopes that perhaps you will pursue yours as well. You know, if you want to. And, man, I'm really starting to dive into some serious self-reflection and some inner work. I don't know if everybody is that way sort of near the end of a year. But yeah, I've just been really journaling a lot these last couple of days, really starting to dive into where I'm at emotionally and spiritually and where I'm at with my goals, what I'm pursuing, trying to get a little bit more clear on what it is that I want, what I want to see happen. And it's been good, you know. It's a process, I think, like everything. And the good news is I am incredibly not very busy the next actually for a little while. I've pretty much only got I'll have 2 shows Friday night at JP's, and then I'm heading to Yuma on Saturday, so I have 3 shows this week. And then that's pretty much the only performances I have scheduled until I think the next show I have scheduled on the actual books is January 23rd. I mean, I'm sure I'll end up booking some more before then, but it's kind of nice because I have just been knee deep in performing and traveling and touring, and I've had a bunch of commercial auditions pop up this last week, which has been really great. I haven't been auditioning that much for commercials, but I've had 4 commercials, I think, pop up that I've been submitting self-tapes. But other than that, it's going to be sort of a good period of time here before I really have to like get back to the grind to where I can step back and really just start to get focused and figure it out where I'm at with a lot of different things. And so that's been very good. I spent a lot of time journaling yesterday. I went to get some food after work and just started journaling away. And then I had a workout session at my gym, then went back home. I did some more work, did some more writing, just a lot of writing. I fell asleep and fell asleep a little early than I had intended, but I ended up waking back up, and so then I was like kind of wired, couldn't fall back asleep. So then I went and found some food at like this pizza place that's open 24 hours. I sat down, I brought my notebook, and I journaled some more. And this is a little vulnerable for me to share, but in that little journal sesh, I became painfully aware of an inner belief system. Wait, aren't all belief systems inner? Is there such thing as an outer belief system? I guess the outer belief system would be somebody else's belief system that maybe they are projecting onto you. Anyway, so I became aware of this belief and this inner dialogue that has been playing on repeat in my mind. And it's not good. How do I describe this? I don't want to get too specific with it. At least on this podcast. It has to do with other business associates in my life from like a business standpoint. And it occurred to me, I have some pretty bitter, I think is a good word. Some resentment is probably another good word. And this isn't about anybody specific, but just in general about how do I word this? You can tell I'm struggling to spit this out. It's almost like I don't want other people to be able to be successful with me when it comes to a business standpoint. And that was a pretty striking revelation. And I realized it when I just intercepted some inner dialogue that was going on in my mind. So I'll give a little bit of context. So a couple of years ago, I got involved with doing e-commerce, setting up an e-commerce site, trying to wholesale products, trying to do that whole thing. And I've had a couple business partnerships in that endeavor. One went horribly south. And then the second one has been pretty spotty. And anyway, in this sort of journal session, I caught myself almost I was like holding a dialogue in my mind with this business. And it was just so negative. And it occurred to me that it's almost as if that inner dialogue is creating the circumstance of it not going well. And I had to look at that and go, wait a minute. Is this relationship not going well because of them? Or is this business relationship not going well because of my inner dialogue, which is responding to a belief system of mine, creating a reality where it is impossible for it to go well because I don't actually believe that it's possible for it to go well. And it actually has nothing to do with anything other than a belief which goes far deeper and far proceeds when I started doing business with them. And that was very revelatory for me. And then when I started to look what was underneath that, it's like this business relationship is just maybe one manifestation of this deeper belief system. And I'm going, wait, I think this is actually a lot more pervasive. And when I was journaling about it, I worded it in the way of, it's like, I am creating a scenario to where nobody can win with me. And that's not good. I want people to be able to win with me. So why am I having this dialogue in my mind that really indicates that there's no way that this, in this particular situation, this business relationship could be successful with me? And where else in my life am I creating a no-win situation? And why do I believe that, that life is full of no-win situations? To the point to where me actually believing in a win-win situation is almost like me going contrary to my belief systems, which I've done enough study on the human brain to know that, our belief systems are the most powerful influence in our emotions and our behavior. And by the way, it's also something that we have so much more control over than we ever give ourselves credit for. And I've proven that to myself. So, yeah, in this, again, reflective, meditative, starting to really look at my year in review and then what I want to accomplish moving forward, I really had to say and look at this pretty deep-seated belief system that's having a pretty tremendous impact on my capacity to actually manifest and experience and realize what it is that I'm saying I want to experience and what I want to accomplish. Whew, getting pretty deep here. Getting pretty deep. Pretty vulnerable here for episode 354. 11 days away from my 365 daily goal. So, anyway, once I identified that belief system, I actually wrote out the belief system. I really just started to put some words to it so that I could look at it and really be critical of it, and then just make a decision if I want to continue to allow this belief system, which I actually think is harmful and is prohibiting me from moving forward to some of the bigger, more expansive opportunities and experiences that I'm looking to manifest and bring into my reality. So I did a very typical exercise that I've done plenty of times in this journey, which is I just wrote it out. I wrote out what I was believing. And then the next thing I did was wrote out what I am going to choose to believe moving forward. And then I will get to have the opportunity of witnessing the results of an adjusted belief system and putting emotion and joy and energy into that new belief, which to me is a much more empowering belief and a much more accurate belief. At least I hope it's more accurate. I don't actually even know if it matters if it's accurate, to be honest. I think that's the fascinating thing about belief is I don't think there's actually... All right, this is starting to get into a little bit of a dicey area for me because it's like, well, what if I believe the earth is flat, right? It's like, okay. So there is such a thing as believing in things that are objectively false, but in the realm of subjectivity, I think there is really no judgment in terms of what we choose to believe, especially again when what we are choosing to believe is in the realm of subjectivity and will serve as the basis for how we experience the world around us and how we process the world around us and what emotions are elicited in response to what happens to us and around us. And like here's an example to put a little context to what I'm trying to spit out here. So I remember living in LA and I would go to an audition and I would audition and then I wouldn't book it, right? And when I didn't book it, so that is the event. That is what happened. But after that event, my inner dialogue and my inner belief and my inner emotions then kicks into high gear to process me not booking that audition. And in that case, depending on what I believe, is going to trigger what could be an entirely different emotional response. And based off of that emotional response, completely different behavior, right? So I don't get the audition. So if I have a belief system that I'm not a talented actor and I'm never going to make it and I'm not going to be successful, and that's what I believe, then me not booking that audition is going to be incredibly discouraging. And it's going to elicit depression and discouragement and maybe some anger and resentment and some fear, fear that I'm never going to be enough and I'm not going to be successful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? However, that exact same event, I go on an audition, I don't book it. If I have a genuine belief in myself and that this is all part of the journey and that I am talented and I do have a lot to offer and that I'm a talented actor and that success is inevitable for me, then I'm going to leave that audition and go, oh, I didn't book it. I must not be right for that role. That just means a better role is around the corner for me. Man, I'm so grateful I didn't book that because I obviously wasn't what they were looking for. So why would I want to be part of a project when I'm not what they're looking for? And maybe I'm even more, maybe that even makes me more motivated for the next audition because then I get to go, oh, I didn't book that one. That must mean that a better one is around the corner. And then that next one comes and now I'm even more excited about it. And then I don't book that one and I go like, oh my gosh, that role would have been incredible. If I didn't get that one, that must mean there's an even better one, right? Exact same events, but based off of my internal belief, I I will choose to generate completely different outcomes based off of what I choose to believe about myself. And anyway, that is the context through which I was starting to uncover some belief systems that I really don't think are serving me. And I'm looking for evidence of those negative beliefs. And I'm having emotional reactions to those beliefs. And I'm remunerating over imaginary conversations that will probably never even happen because of this negative belief system. And it's gonna take a little bit of work, but at least I've identified these beliefs. I've mapped them out. I've written them out so I can look at them. And then I've made a conscious choice that I am going to reprogram those beliefs and see if I begin to experience different results as an outcome and in response to that. So that's where I'm at in this sort of quiet time in between, really arduous performance schedules and traveling schedules, and when I just have some time to decompress, relax, journal, and allow myself to reflect and get clear on what it is that I want to experience moving forward. So, anyway, I hope me being a little vulnerable there and sharing all of that is helpful. And if it wasn't, my apologies, but, I shared it anyway. So, anyway, that is all for today. We've got 10 more episodes after this one before I hit my 365-day daily podcast goal. And I hope you're all doing well. You're out there living your lives, living your truths, finding joy and fulfillment in your journeys as you pursue your dreams. I love you all so much. This is the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast for December 16th, 2024, episode 354. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you tomorrow.